Deb again. Hi, Deb. So Deb is asking, can you give an example of a problem illustrating how you might approach it if you were not thinking critically, and then contrasting that with how you would approach it if you were thinking critically?
I think that's kind of a tall order for a session of this length.
Mm.
And although I can, to some extent, think on my feet, I'm going to have trouble coming up with an example that I could do to that level of detail. Let me just think about that for a second. I guess I'll go back to something I said earlier, which was a fairly obvious one, where taking the strategy, taking a testing strategy that was used in one project or in even a different release, and saying I'm going to use that would be one way of not thinking critically about dealing with the problem of how we're going to test this one, where it might be really important. Typically, I think it's really important that the testing strategy should always be unique to the thing you're doing at the time. And in terms of testing strategy, I have a bunch of questions that I ask and a bunch of things I look at in order to come up with that strategy, including models, in fact. Yeah, somebody's saying, Steph is saying, I know for me, critical thinking can sometimes desert me or be slow to start if the topic generates an emotional response. Yep. Yeah, for sure. And that's one of the ways in which cognitive biases can kick in. If a topic generates an emotional response, I think we are more likely to allow our biases to take over. Say our confirmation bias. I'm hearing the things that support my belief. I'm screening out the things that don't support my belief. Mm. That's very much about confirmation bias.
Yeah, I can relate to that a lot. Okay. I'd like that. Like, I want to think of an example for that question. Like, folks, like, give me a nudge to think about an example, because I'm sure we can come up with an example.
Oh, I'm sure we can.
This. But I think Fiona's right. Doing it right now on the spot is tough. Okay, thank you for that question, though, Deb. It was awesome.
Yeah, and for your comment about how when a whole team's stressed due to a deadline, that is an emotion. It is, and that is, and when you think about when you're dealing with a deadline and you're time crunched, think about all the things you do or don't do that limit your thinking, that limit your ability to deal with problems that come up. One of the things that I always used to find was I don't have time to exercise. I don't have time to exercise. If I don't exercise and I don't get outdoors, I don't think properly. I don't solve problems well. I operate too much on my intuitive responses, on my emotional responses, right? And I think that everybody does. Now, exercise is just one example, but we tunnel vision, as Melissa says here. We get tunnel vision when we're thinking, when we're too stressed.